Well, welcome home. We're glad to
Thank
have you
you.
here, and what a terrific job you did in this. And
Oh, thanks.
first I just have to ask you. I mean, what does it mean to you to be part of this Marvel universe?
It's amazing. It really is. I had such a great time making the film. I mean, even just the process of doing these films is great. And then when you actually get to see it and celebrate it with, your fellow co-stars and everyone that you spent all that time with, it's amazing. It really is.
Yeah, and then of course, we find out that Agent 13, who she really is.
Yes.
Do you have to do any kind of backstory research to kind of get into this character?
Yeah, I mean, usually when you're prepping for a film or a show or whatever for a character, you're creating your own backstory often, and unless you're playing someone who really existed. So, this process was different from anything I've ever done in terms of character work. You have such a huge pool to pull from. Yeah. So, it's more about filtering out, okay, well, what elements you're going to keep, which elements you're going to sort of, you know what I mean? Like, because you're trying to create the best version of, Sharon for the fans. And it's like, it's different than anything I've done. It was really cool. It was really fun. They hand you like a Bible of everything your character's ever been in, and you just sort of go to town. It's awesome.
And she gets to kick a little butt in this movie. Wow.
Yeah, it was fun.
Come on. Like, it was fun. Come on, tell me about it.
No, it's good. I did a lot of those sequences on Revenge.
Yes,
so
that's true, yeah.
It's always fun to kind of like, I keep saying like to get out of your head as an actor and into your body. And I have a dance background, so it's like, it's really, all that choreography stuff is so much fun for me. And I don't get to do it that much anymore. Yeah. So it's great. It's a lot of fun. And, in the comic books, she was a badass. She was really cool and very tough, super strong, and it's just nice to show her fearlessness in that way.
And what's really neat about this movie, I have to tell you that before I even saw the movie or even the trailer or anything, I'm like, I'm Cap, I'm Team Cap, no problem.
You assume you would be, because it's a Captain America movie.
Then you see the movie and you're like, I see why Iron Man kind of has some situation here where I might kind of sway. Whereas it's the same with your character as well. She kind of is on the fence, like, what should I do? Should I
Because I think she establishes, when we first meet her in this film, that she's worked really hard to get to where she is. She never really wanted to, use her relationship with Peggy to further herself, in her career. So you get a sense of her integrity and who she really is. But, like, it's early, and I just lost my trail of thought.
It's good. No, you're giving me great
Where was
stuff.
I headed with that?
Just the moral dilemma that she faces.
Yeah, so I'm like, oh my God, it's only 9.
Okay.
Yes. So she, you get
after.
a sense of her integrity, and we do get a sense of where her loyalties lie. But it's like, is she really going to compromise all of the hard work that she's, put into her life? And at the end of the day, you see whether or not she chooses her heart or her head.
Yeah, and working with someone like Chris
Evans.
Evans.
A very long-winded.
It's okay. And then, of course, working opposite Chris. To
Yes.
have a little bit more time with him on screen must have been great, too.
Yeah, he's lovely. I mean, he was so welcoming in The Winter Soldier, even shooting that, and that was obviously very nerve-wracking, kind of just entering into this universe. So to get to kind of like do it again and feel a little bit more comfortable, and he's such a gentleman, absolute sweetheart, true professional. So that was great.
Yeah, now, of course, we all loved you on Revenge. Oh, what a juicy, amazing role that was. But I have to tell you, I go back to Brothers and Sisters. So love that show. So miss that show. And I was lucky enough to, I had an interview a couple months ago with Reese, and then I spoke to Sally Field last week.
Oh, my God.
Oh, my goodness. And I asked
so
her,
much.
I said, that show for me was, I don't know, it was just a pivotal time for you. Tell me about working on something like that.
It was
having to say
amazing.
Goodbye to all those characters. And
It was. I kind of left early on in the 5th season, and it was really hard. It was, when you do these TV shows, it does become like a family, and every TV show I've sort of left behind has been, it's a bit heartbreaking, to be honest. You're not going to be seeing these people in the, in the same capacity, so it's difficult. But I mean, it was a really interesting time in my life shooting Brothers and Sisters, and sort of figuring out, you're in your, like, I was early to mid-20s, you're figuring out who you are as a woman, and to get to do that while working with, like, these people that you've idolized since you were a kid and learning so much from, it was like a really great sort of moment. And Sally is just amazing. It had a lot to do with, like, really informed sort of who I wanted to be in this business. Do you know what I mean? Because she's just absolutely, completely professional. She's on time. She's brilliant, talented. I mean, she's everything that you would want to be. So it was like perfect timing to sort of get to work with someone like her, you know?
Yeah. Well, you know what? You are so terrific in this. I hope that we
you.
get to see a lot more of Sharon Carter coming up. Fingers
crossed.
And like I said, welcome home. It's so great to
Thank
have you back here in
so
Canada.
nice to be
We're
here.
extremely proud of what you've done, and
Thank you.
keep up the great work.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.